Hey guys, welcome to Coffee and a Chat, episode 15. Ontario out of control. And boy, has it been out of control leading up to this reopening.
And by the way, I'm Four Towers Films.
And this is the lovely Four Towers Films, my co-host on our little chat show.
Yeah.
So,
well, must preface is why Ontario is out of control. If you guys don't know, Ontario has now entered stage one. Reopening happened on Friday.
How many reopenings have we had so far?
Fourth one, I think.
Yeah, this is our fourth.
I believe.
I believe this is our fourth reopening.
Yeah.
And
we had pre-lockdown, so this.
And the
so maybe third reopening then. I think unless I missed one.
And the insanity that has ensued leading up to this.
It almost seems as bad as when it locked down a year ago in March, when all the shelves were empty, no toilet paper, nothing on the shelves. I mean, it's not that there's stuff on the shelves, stuff. It's just like how crazy people are.
Oh my God!
Running to the stores right now. I mean,
it's like
okay.
we're back. We're in stage one reopening, so that means limited capacities.
Yes, but they're open for inside shopping.
Yes, but
and like the stores that were previously restricted to what they could sell. Talk about this in another episode.
Yes, we did.
Now they can sell everything again. So now there's like line right around this building,
which is crazy. Like, we saw in our local news here, there was a Winners store, and they were lined up from the front door around the building.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand we haven't all been able to shop for a number of months.
It's been a long time.
But good.
Wait, so that's correct. We can shop. Like, these stores are open, technically.
Yes.
You just can shop inside. Like, you'd have to order online or whatever, and you get curbside pickup or delivery. For most stores, I mean, other stores are actually go in them, like pharmacies, groceries and stuff. But I mean, it's not, or you could go on Amazon or Walmart.
Well, yeah.
Buy it online, they deliver it to you. So I mean, it's not like you couldn't shop. It's just you can do it in person shop, and I know a lot of people don't like to shop online. But I mean, you really had to do it on Saturday.
But Jesus, once the premier, Doug Ford, said, "Okay, it's going to reopen," everyone lost their damn minds.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I need some clothes. My kids need some clothes. I need this, and this.
Well, I understand stuff you haven't been able to buy in person. I mean, like we talked about before, like you can buy shoes, you can buy socks, you can buy like shower curtains. None of that. It's all considered non-essential.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could see buying that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy it before unless you ordered it online and that or picked it up, kind of thing, or delivered to you. But I mean, like there was a couple on the TV that were just something to do.
Something to
They're
do.
Hanging out in line to go to a Winners for something to do.
Okay, like
Yes,
our vaccinations are it's increasing.
We're at, I think we're at 75% this Ontario.
Yeah.
First dose, but we're still really lagging on second dose.
Of course.
So there's not that many people vaccinated here yet.
Okay, our numbers are low right now.
They're as lower than they've been since about September or October. So for a while.
But you know what? Let's not push our damn luck.
Let's not drive it back up again.
Exactly. And it's like people saw, I can go to Winners, I can go to here, I can go there, I can get stuff I couldn't get. Let's go.
And this is kind of what we're talking about. Part of the reason that a lot of the big box stores that you could walk into, so like a Walmart, for example, even Dollarama, that you could actually go to sell food. That's the only reason they can sell food and they sell medicines and stuff. So that's the only reason you actually could have indoor shopping here in them, where all the rest of them are closed, like to complete indoor shopping. But he said the reason like they were limited to what they deemed non-essentials to help out mom and pop stores who sell somewhat the same items. Well, this is what we're saying. You really think they're going to switch to a mom and pop shop? Well, no, they didn't.
No.
These lineups are very good indicators that they're not going to stop going to a Walmart or a Winners or a Dollarama or any of these big box stores, because one, they pretty much can get what they want, any size. Walmart typically has better prices than the small shops, and again, because it's fun, they can buy bulk.
Now, of course,
you know.
But people's behaviors leading up to this have been
even in the last few weekends before.
Like has been absolutely atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Urinating and defecating in parks and against people's houses.
This here, if you're in Ontario, you've probably heard about it on the news. If you're in the States or anywhere else, you probably have. You never know. You never might have heard of it. There's a park in Toronto called Trinity Velvet's Park. It's probably one of the largest parks in Toronto.
Yes.
It's pretty well known. It's about a 38-acre park. Almost like New York Central Park, not quite as big, but it's a big park. Well, it's very popular among the young in Toronto. It's in a very trendy neighborhood in Toronto. So it's mostly, you're going to find mostly 20-somethings there, teenagers to maybe 20-somethings. Not saying that there isn't anybody older than that. It's primarily the younger set who tend to go there. Well, if you've heard about it, it's the famous park with circles in it. So, I mean, that's something that's been kind of a famous thing for this park. That the city did the social distancing circles in this park. They're not the only park that's done it. I think there's a one in London, or some might have been Hyde Park or something in London that did the same thing. But well, Trinity Velvet's last year and this year have done the social distancing circles. Well, they're not doing that much this year, at least not on the weekends. Well, the crowd's been massive at this park, and they're not respecting a lot of the neighbors.
No, not at all.
The Victoria Day weekend before Memorial Day in the States here, it's a long weekend. We also call it the May 24 weekend. So it normally lands on May 24th, but sometimes it's a week or two before that. But it's called May 24th. So it usually lands on the 24th. So, it's like, or they'll call it the firework weekend because you're setting off fireworks, stuff like that. Well, there's video. You probably find it on TikTok and or YouTube. There's been quite a few videos of it. They're running around, shooting at each other, fireworks, throwing stuff at each other, throwing things at houses that border the park, knocking on these houses' doors, windows, yelling. It's actually a lot of seniors too that border the park, and harassing them, and also just pictures of it. They're actually going to sides of people's houses and peeing against their actual. This is not people's property. It's not the park property. This is the people's homeowners' properties. They're peeing against their houses and pooing in their bushes and all that kind of stuff. The park has had a lot of problems with that over years. There's actually a lot of bathrooms in this park for the sides of the park. The city's starting to rectify that by putting like porta potties. So there are bathrooms in this park. They're not necessarily real close together. So they're starting to put porta potties there, but they're still ignoring them. They're still going in bushes and still. They actually call it the dog bowl. There's an area. I'm serious. There's a portion of Trinity Velvet's Park they call the dog bowl. You can guess why? Because a lot of people go there to pee and poo, and it's and a lot of the residents say it stinks to high heaven in that area.
Well, of course, makes sense,
right? But they're not enforcing it, bro, because the crowds are so massive. They don't never ever send enough police to enforce it and to make sure they're not doing what they shouldn't be doing here.
It's like people have totally lost all reason and have kind of disregarded the social.
And plus, the social norms. But like, really, I mean, There's another area, and they're also leaving tons of garbage behind.
Oh my God!
Granted, we don't go to that part because it's not really near us. So, but I don't know if there's a lot of like trash cans or if they pick it up very frequently. But even so, if they don't take it with you, find the trash can or take it home. But they're literally just tossing crap. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Garbage in this park. And then another place that's also having a very similar problem to this is it's a resort area called Wasaga. It's north of us. It's cross country. It's the world's longest freshwater beach. If you ever heard of it, it's 14 kilometers long, and it's very popular. It's warm water, all that kind of stuff, and you can actually go out pretty far without even really going above your head. So I mean, it's pretty far out. But they're also having a similar problem in the last few weeks.
The amount of trash and
trashing the beach.
Yeah.
It's not a big town, Wasaga. No. The beach is your biggest draw there. There's not a lot else to do there.
Not now, anyway.
There used to be, but they had a really big fire I guess it's probably over 10 years ago now. It's been quite a while, and they haven't actually redeveloped it yet, so there's more to do for them now. But, I mean, you even see the videos and pictures of that. I mean, people just throwing crap on the beach. And they're also pooing on the beach. Now, Grant, I've been to Wasaga a lot. There are plenty of bathrooms here.
Yeah.
That's not a problem with this beach. So why are you peeing and pooing on the beach? I mean, we're not talking toddlers or little kids. We're talking adults.
Grown folks. Yeah.
And they actually do have plenty of bathrooms.
Yes.
We've been there plenty of times. So, I mean, you can't go there.
Because
really?
it's an adequately supplied.
It is. It pretty well is. Yeah.
And because
it is very popular. So.
Yeah, it's
provincially owned. It's really bizarre how the beach system is set up. Part of the beach is city or town owned.
Yeah.
Part of the beach is provincially owned. So part of the beach is governed and clean and all that by the provincial government. And the other half of the beach is the city, the town is controlled it. And it's funny, it's like the beach itself is kind of divided right in half, right all the way down the 14-kilometer long. So the top part, if I remember correctly, of the beach, there used to be a road there and where all the stores and stuff are city owned.
Yeah.
So the city or the town is responsible for that. The bottom half of the beach to the water is provincially owned. So the province is responsible for cleaning that up. It's really ridiculous. I don't know how that even came about.
What the hell kind of surveyor did you have to do that?
I don't even know why they do it like that. Why not just have it all provincially as a province run it, and then that's just the main part of the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the beach is actually divided up into 6 sections of 6 beaches.
Yes, that's true.
It's one long stretch beach, but there's 6 areas.
Yeah.
You've got the main beach, which is divided this weird way between the city and the province. Then you get to beach area 2, 3, 4, all the way to 6. That's all provincial.
Yeah.
So the province is control of that. And they're actually usually better taken care of for some reason. I don't know if the city doesn't have a lot. I mean, they can only do so much if the people are not taking care of the beach themselves and leaving the trash behind. I mean, it is cleaned up daily, but I mean, probably shouldn't. I mean, do you do that to your own house?
Well, and the thing now is that you're bringing an element into this that people shouldn't have to deal with. Biological waste.
It's toxic.
And
then it gets into the water and contaminate the water.
And that's not fair to put that extra burden on a town worker or a city worker to have to deal with that biological.
It's sure you're contaminating the ground and you contaminate the water by doing that, and then nobody can swim there. Those people run the risk because you don't know if that person has left that, number 1 and number 2, what kind of are ill. So it creates that recipe of disaster And that's one of the reasons dogs aren't actually allowed on the beach either, but you see them. They allow them to go on the beach too. It's for the same reason. Because if they pee or they poo, well, that is getting into the sand and it can actually get in the water. So water comes up, the water's actually pretty high. So it actually comes up quite far on the beach. And so now you're contaminating the water. So now it becomes unsafe to swim in. And it's funny that there's a couple of Facebook groups from that town and that they just argue about it. Oh, it's okay, it's dogs, but no, there's a reason they don't allow them on the beach.
Exactly.
It's to keep the water safe to swim in, because it would take a long time to decontaminate that water. We would know because we live off Lake Ontario, and for a long time we couldn't swim in Lake Ontario, not our end, because it was pretty toxic.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of dumping, there's a lot of boats, like big boats, like you're talking Lakers and stuff like that.
And the processing facilities.
Processing plants and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I mean, it became very toxic. And, you smell the lake. It's that bad. So it took a long time. It took years. But they started to clean the lake up. And now parts of Toronto, specifically, are blue white beaches, because
which means it's safe.
It's safe, beyond safe to swim. It's actually one of the safest beaches in the world. Very few beaches in the world are flagged. So, I mean, but that's what can happen when you've got that kind of crap, literally on the water, and that's what they're trying to prevent from Wasaga from happening.
Of course.
It's actually off Lake Huron. Wasaga's part of Georgian Bay, which is attached to Lake Huron, which is one of the 5 Great Lakes, but you know, I mean, they don't want that.
No.
You know, I mean, if you know, if you keep having that kind of thing happen, it becomes toxic. So, and sand becomes toxic, so it's water. And because it's town water, it's not like city-run water. People are drinking it too. So
exactly, and you know, people need to understand that, the cross-contamination factor too.
Of course.
Kids are playing in the sand. Right. Rover might have taken a leak there, you know, and
or some
whatever
teenager or some 20-year-old took a leak or whatever else and buried it in sand.
And you know, little Tommy's making a sandcastle. He's digging with his hands. Next thing you know, he's got it
on his hands, and they touch her face.
And you know,
babies or anybody. I mean, that's the problem. But they don't seem to believe that this could actually be an issue.
And like,
because they're just too. Really, it's laziness, especially there, that they can't get up and use an actual washroom.
It's the lazy behavior became more prevalent leading up to this.
Right. It's gotten worse, and I think this pandemic's made it worse.
Oh my God.
I mean, maybe you guys have seen it in your areas too. I'm sure it's not just here. I mean, I think a lot of big cities have that issue, including that's smaller towns. So I'm sure they're having. It's not just her. I mean, yes, we get it. You know, you do get sick of the lockdown and all that kind of stuff, but you can't just throw out your own respect of an area that, especially when there's people trying to keep it clean for people to enjoy.
Of course.
Especially like a beach town when you don't live there. It's not your town. So why are you disrespecting it? Oh, it's not my town, so I'm just going to throw crap wherever I want.
Well, exactly.
You know, same with Trinity Bellwoods. I mean, there's probably a lot of dudes live near there, but I mean, you know, why don't you respect the neighbors? So would you want somebody peeing against your house?
Oh.
You know, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who say pee in my house, shoot you.
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. You know, or
I know one personally,
or sick my dog on you, kind of thing. I mean, that's trespassing now. You know,
like, the sense of entitlement a lot of people have gotten has become so
very prevalent.
Hyper prevalent.
Yeah, it has. Sure
you know, it's like, well, I'm going to do it. You can't say anything to me because it's my moment, my time. I need to go.
I want to live my life. Well, fine, live your life, but you don't need to go and damage someone's property to live your life.
Well, that's it.
Either, you know.
You know, like what
I mean, we're all fairly young once. I mean, you know, we're all young once. Like, and I don't ever remember. I mean, we're not that much older than them, really, but I mean, I don't remember. We didn't do that kind of thing. Like, we
Well,
didn't go and deliberately leave junk in garbage or pee or poo against someone's house or deliberately disturb neighbors because it's fun.
well, that's it.
You know, I don't really get that kind of entitlement. But why do you think that's fun to
Well,
do?
I
You know,
I think the problem is that our generation and
Yeah.
some generations that came before us,
we were raised differently.
we were
too.
raised differently. We were taught to respect your
Right.
town, your neighborhood,
Yeah.
your
Respect-
neighbors,
we're taught to respect authority too.
and authority. And you know, if you did wrong, there was
punishment
for that.
There doesn't seem to be punishment for the younger generations.
That
Now, granted, prefaces that they're not all like that.
No.
We know that.
No.
Just like our generation, sort of the lost generation. I mean, that like, heck, nobody even remembers us now. I mean, look, it's usually with the Gen X generation.
Yes, we are.
So, look, you only ever hear of the Boomer generation. I think a lot of the younger people don't even know who a Boomer is because I think they're either pointing at our generation or something. It's not us. We're not the Boomer generation.
Oh.
It's actually about 2 or 3 generations before us who are the Boomer generation.
Like our parents.
I believe. No, our parents are. I can't remember what they were called. They're like the war generation, and then there was the Boomers after our parents.
Like your aunt.
Like my aunt.
Is
That's
a boomer.
The Boomer generation, which is they call them boomers. So baby boomers. Like there's a big baby boom after the war.
The boys came home and made families.
Right. So the ones who were born like 45, 50s, that kind of thing. That's the baby boomer and say boomer generation. But I don't know, because I see a lot of like say millennial and Gen Z calling either our generation or maybe the ones just before us boomers. And it's like, that's not, you don't even know what a boomer is. So why are you even saying, like, you probably saying, okay, boomer or whatever. It's like, you don't even know what a boomer is. So, what, I want to read up on that before you say, okay, boomer. But you'll notice it's almost like this war going on between the boomers and, like, specifically millennials, because they're about 30-year-olds now, 35-year-olds, roughly. I'm not sure if it goes up to 40. I think it might be 35, 36 year olds, something like that, and down. And 3-hour Gen Z comes in at the early 20s to teens right now, Gen Z generation. And then the newest generation is the Alpha generation. So like your toddlers, babies, that's the Alpha generation. So, but it's fun. They never mention Gen X. Like we don't exist at all. Boomers, millennials. It's like.
That's why sit
back.
That's why we're aptly named as the forgotten generation.
The lost generation. Yeah. Nobody's ever really thought of our generation except us. But yeah, it's true. Like you were saying, to bring it back to talking about, we were probably the last generation. If you guys were Gen Xers, you probably can relate. We're probably the last generation to actually raise respect. Like, we actually could fail in school.
Yes.
We got punished. Grounded. I don't know. There probably are kids who get punished, but it just seems like, because we know a few millennials that were punished. Like they're fairly strict parents.
Yeah.
It's just how they act, especially the younger millennials, the Gen Z. They don't seem to, like, it's the generation, you probably have seen them, where they'll say, "Come here, please."
Yeah.
When they're little. Well, now they don't seem to respect anything.
No.
At all. And that's why you've got Trinity Belt's card and Wasega and
all the other.
And the pandemic, I think, just kind of hyper inflated it.
Exactly. And like even with people driving now, it's like it's ridiculous. Like everyone's so touchy now about, I need to get there, I need to go, why are you impeding me, what's wrong with you,
Well, we've talked about this before. with us. Say you're at the light, cars are the light, and
Mhm.
say us
Yeah.
crossing, and they're with the light, and there's a car waiting
Yeah.
patiently for them to cross. The car behind them will be honking at the car ahead. Like, you said, where do you want them to go?
Exactly.
Want them to run over the pedestrian?
Apparently.
You know, I mean, you're not going to get there any faster by honking. I mean, that shows me they're not actually paying attention to anything.
Well, no.
Except the car in front of them.
Yeah.
And a good driver, you know,
Mhm.
looks ahead of what's directly from actually all around them.
Of course.
You know, not just, oh, there's a car stopped in my way. I can't move anywhere. Honk.
Well,
without real, like looking to see why they're stopped.
It's like all they see is this. You know, it's that tunnel vision.
Right. It's like, well, think. Why are they stopped?
You know,
if they're looking at the phone, which sometimes they do, that's one thing. But like, look ahead of them. Is there something ahead of them? Is the car broken down? What before you honk?
You know, and it's just all this bad behavior. Excuse me. Has gotten.
It's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse. I don't understand. You know, it's like, why? You know. Okay, yeah, we've all had it rough. We've all gone through all this stuff together, but it doesn't mean, you know, we suddenly turn into the Lord of the Flies, and you know,
it's anarchy.
And anarchy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, like kids even doing like peeing in the bushes at schoolyards, and you know, there's no need of that.
No.
There's no need. You know, we need to rein this in.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the problem is the time to actually taught this specific generation to respect other people's property and throw their own crap out and not pee against someone's house and not shoot fireworks at people's houses and knock on their doors, or actually maybe do that way when people are crossing on the sidewalk too, and not walk 20 abreast. And of course, like seniors onto the road or onto grass or something, because you can't move out of the way. You know, much too difficult for you. You know, you like. I guess if they're a teenager, they can still kind of be taught. Like I said again, they're not all like that.
No, that's true.
But you know, I don't like that permissive way. I mean, like, look, even in schools now that they're not even. I don't. It may be different where you guys are, but here, when they talk about when they're at school, they're not failed anymore. If they don't do well in the subject, they still pass forward. So they'll still get different grades. Well, you're not really doing them any favors by doing that. I mean, it's pretty prevalent, and you can see it. Yeah. That there are people struggling. I mean, you can just look at Facebook, how like spelling become atrocious, you know, and a lot of people don't even understand some things, like with science or like even COVID kind of thing, or math or any of this kind of stuff, you know. And then of course with discipline and stuff, like it seems like I don't know if it's the millennial generation, their kids, or it's the younger Gen X with their kids. They've been too permissive, maybe. Yeah. So they haven't learned to respect authority or even people's property or something. I don't know.
I think because now this is, you know, just my point of view, but by not allowing them to fail,
right,
and forcing them to have to.
Well, it's like you've seen it, the participation badges. Well, you get reward just showing up.
You know, like.
You know, what are you teaching them? That they'll get whatever they want, then they don't have to do anything to earn it.
And I think we need to bring back the system of, okay, Timmy, you've been goofing off all year. Well, guess what, Sparky?
Yeah, you're held back.
I'm holding you back.
Right.
And
like
I will.
Our generation.
Like it did with.
Like a lot of generations.
Exactly. And mom and dad would have to be sat down and you show them.
Right.
It's not because of any failings on my part. I tried to teach your son.
Right.
You
But
know.
I find the teachers are blamed a lot
Oh.
for it. And it's like teachers kind of hamstrung her, you know. I mean, there's only so much they can do in class. I mean, they have to push them through.
Yeah.
But they're not really allowed to discipline that much. It's
No.
or else a parent comes in and then they're disciplined or whatever. I mean, so really, what can they do? I mean, they're talking real harsh punishment, but at least go to the principal's office
Yes.
or keep them at your class for detention or be held back if they're not doing well. I mean, and goofing off or even kids who may be trying hard but may not quite be there enough, you know, kind of thing. We want to then held back because of that, not because they've been using off, but because they just didn't catch on or whatever. And they might need to go over it again, kind of thing. You're not really doing them any favors by pushing them along. So how are they going to do in college or university? Because they don't handhold you there.
No, that's
you
it.
Know, they'll fail miserably if they haven't learned it.
Exactly.
You know? What are you teaching them?
I think we need, as a province and as a country and as the generation that's supposed to set the examples.
Yeah.
We need to stop glad-handing our kids.
Yeah.
We need to stop going, no, it's okay.
You'll get them next time.
You'll get them next time, slugger.
Right.
No, you want to go, all right, you didn't.
So what you do wrong?
What happened?
Let's think about it.
Let's talk it through and maybe we can fix it.
Yeah.
You know, because I think what we need to bring back is accountability.
Right, which seems to be lost, obviously. I mean, well, like even different rounds of protests or whatever going on. If you're like the states, they have the right to protest or rally and all that kind of stuff. But that's not the issue. It's the issue when they start to be destructive.
That's it.
In it. I mean, it's different if you're being peaceful and that kind of thing. But when you're starting to break windows and graffiti businesses and burn cars and all that kind of stuff, and then they only give out 1 or 2 tickets and everybody else gets to go home. I mean, what's accountability? These people now have to repair their business. They have to go into their insurance. People have stolen stuff from their businesses, or now they need a new car, and they had nothing to do with maybe the lockdown or anything like that. You know, now what if they had just lost a job because of life, and now they have to buy a new car, and they don't have the money thanks to you who burned it because gee, you're protesting. You know, I mean, like there's no accountability. Like now your message is lost.
Yeah,
that's all you remember is the looting and the destruction instead of what message you're trying to get across.
Of course,
whatever it is, whatever protesting or rallying.
You know, it's
so like I said, accountability gets lost.
And
you see a lot of that during the whole COVID.
You know,
I'm sure it's everywhere. I can't speak.
It's and
you know,
and yeah, like you were saying, it's not just here. It's a global issue.
Sure it is. Yeah.
But in one sense, that's a failing on us not to be more proactive and say, okay, enough's enough.
Yeah, and hold them accountable.
And hold them accountable.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to take the strong arm position to correct ignorant behavior.
Well, sure. Yeah.
You know, and this is what we've got.
Yeah.
Hyper ignorant behavior.
And it's not, I mean, if people are saying they don't like this or that, it's not being a Karen or a whatever. It's like, would you want people to in your front yard?
Oh, I'd be totally ticked.
I highly doubt it. You know, or leaving trash all over or knocking on your window at midnight. I don't think so. I mean, it's not about that. It's about, yes, you want to have fun, you go right ahead, you have fun, but you don't need to disrupt and destroy other people's property in order to have fun. I mean, that's part of the problem now. You know, I mean, you don't you can have fun without being destructive.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where that needs to be corrected.
Of course. Well, that's it. You know, like, okay, you want to get together? Fine, get together.
Right.
You know,
but
you don't need to be destroying shit. or just disrupting the neighborhood.
No.
Because, like you were saying, if it was our house,
Yeah.
and someone crapped in our front yard, guess what?
Yeah.
If I don't catch him, you're gonna catch him, and then
we're not the only ones who that way.
Ooh, no way.
But that's the point too. Is there maybe somebody picked the wrong house to do that too, and we haven't heard about that yet. I'm sure it's up. Somebody's going to do something like this to somebody's car, somebody's house, that will retaliate. Shooting them or coming after them, setting a dog on them, or something's going to go wrong with this. I mean, it's going to happen. And I mean, is that a good thing too?
And you see, that's what when we were discussing this before coming on the air, this is something that concerns me. That will be a matchstick moment,
It'll happen
if this keeps up. Sure, the next thing you know, we'll hear in the news some, kid took a leak against somebody's house. Homeowner came out and threw him a beating, or shot him.
A lot of shootings. I mean, Canada hasn't really been known as a gun nation. We have guns here.
Yeah.
It's a mistake if people around don't think we do.
Oh,
we're allowed to have them. Yeah. It's just not as prevalent, say, in the States. It's not our constitution. But the thing is, you're hearing more and more about that, about shootings here.
Yeah.
There's just another shooting last night in Toronto. So, but that's kind of what you think of. I mean, you don't know who has guns here. And there are legal guns. It's not just handguns and stuff. People have rifles, hunting rifles, all that kind of stuff. But I can see it happening. That if somebody does that, they're squatting or they're leaving garbage or they're shooting at the house or fireworks or whatever, throwing at the house or whatever. But the owner's not going to get really upset. They may be on edge themselves because of all this and come out and shoot somebody or, like you said, beat them up. I can see it happening. And this is what this generation doesn't seem to comprehend, that they're not the only ones in the world. Yeah. And they're going to come against some people who are going to fight back, and not necessarily in a nice way either.
Because it's people right now, and especially during this whole year and a half, people don't care about other people's feelings. Not anymore.
No.
And it's becoming
it's pretty obvious,
more obvious. It's kind of getting dragged out of the dark corners, and you're seeing what people, how people really will behave, and
nothing like a crisis to bring up people's true way of being.
People's true colors come to the surface when
Now, granted, there's the opposite too, and there are people who've been volunteering and helping each other. So that's nice to see as well, and you are seeing that as well. That you're really seeing the real bad side too, like more so than you ever did before.
Oh yeah.
Especially now the openings too. It's gotten really worse, especially this last
year. Well, that's it. And it's like some people say, well, they're just trying to let off steam.
Yeah, I've seen that. People want to excuse them. Well, that's part of the problem. You've been excusing their entire life.
Exactly. You've been excusing ignorant and destructive behavior
their entire life. And that's why they keep doing it.
And they think, well, you didn't do anything about it. Well,
I'll keep doing it.
I'll
Nobody's
just keep
done
doing it.
About it.
But the moment someone holds them accountable and says, that's it, you're not doing this anymore.
Some they're a parent, or they're this, or they're a boomer, or they're whatever. I mean, well, too bad, little munchkin. Life doesn't revolve around you. There's a lot of other people in the world too.
Well, that's it. And I'm.
It's not my fault. Your parents raised you to feel like you're entitled.
And I'm getting offended by these supposedly privileged generation that feels that they're offended by people not allowing them to do what they want to do. Well, I'm offended by this. Who the hell are you?
Oh, everybody's offended by everything now.
I'm offended
about everything.
I'm offended by your offense.
Well, I just watched. It's funny. I said this one time. I mean, you're always hearing about people being offended by something.
Yeah.
And it's funny. And then you'll find people who are offended by people's offense.
Yes.
Complaining and being offended by their offense. So it's kind of like, well,
it's
kind of hypocritical. You're being offended by their offense. It's like, just admit it. Everybody gets offended by something. I mean, if you're not, then I don't know, you have no feelings. So, I mean, like, really, let's face it, everybody gets offended by something.
Of course.
It's human. You're like, but, you're snowflakes, you get offended by this. Oh, you're whatever, because you're offended by this, or the woke generation. We're like, give me a break. It's just kind of ridiculous how this is all gone the last. It's funny to watch, but like, okay, whatever. It's like, okay. I mean, just admit everybody gets offended by something. Like, you don't need to name call each other in order. It doesn't help. Like, are we still in grade school?
And that's what it comes across.
Like,
it's like you want to go, okay, chill out, Frosty. Okay,
calm down, Frosty.
Calm down, Frosty.
Or the whole, I see this a lot. Cheat, like, you probably have seen it. If you don't want the facts and calling now. Okay, whine about people getting the vaccine. I mean, like, anybody can say it to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, people are so strong. You want to live in life. You want to live your own life. Well, everyone wants to live
Of course.
And it's ridiculous.
Well,
it really is. These ones are Karens. These ones are snowflakes. This one this. This one this. The woke generation. The sheeple. This is like, give me a break.
You see,
it's so ridiculous now.
I guess I guess I'm showing my age, and it's like
makes you glad you're Gen X, right?
And I appreciate where we felt in the generational paradigm of it.
Else implode.
Well, we're sitting there going, okay, after they're all done having a hissy fit.
Go on around the world.
Exactly. Finally. And
oh God, you Gen Xers know what we're talking
about. Mm-hmm.
But really, I mean, like, I'm sure there's people out there who think that way too. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's it. It's like
the whole at each other kind of thing.
When is enough? That when is it that we're gonna say, okay, stop?
Let's face it, people are people. It's never.
No, that's the problem.
Let's face it, it's unrealistic to think that everyone's gonna get along.
Mm-hmm.
It's same or not. Like, you're always gonna have
of course.
Religious views. You can have different whatever, like economic views or whatever cases, but to say, oh, you're a woke, you're a sheep, or you're a Karen, you're a snowflake, or whatever, it's not helping that.
No.
You really start listening to you then.
Well, you know what?
You just look ridiculous. You look like, I felt like I'm back in like grade 8 or something with all that kind of arguing. It's kind of like, how old are you?
Can I say this though?
What?
It's putting me to sleep listening to all these tags people nowadays are throwing out. It's like, okay, I want to have a Rip Van Winkle moment, go to sleep, wake up, and
up when maybe a more sensible age starts. I don't know. I'm not like, I don't care when whatever you want to believe, go right ahead.
Your belief is your.
Your belief is your belief. I mean, some I prefer facts to stuff that's not proven. I mean, we've always said, we've had a lot of people talk about it.
A number of episodes,
But a lot of people believe the conspiracy theory stuff, even regarding COVID and vaccines and stuff. I mean, I understand why there are people who are hesitant to get the vaccines. They're not new. They are new vaccines kind of thing. So I get it.
Of course.
So I'm not going to fault if you don't want it to choice,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't really agree with saying, "Oh, you're a sheeple if you get it." If you feel you need to get it,
Yeah.
then get it. If
Yeah.
you think it's going to be good for you, it's going to protect your life, all that kind of stuff. Read the science and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get it. I'm not going to call you a sheeple
No.
or a sheep or anything like that. I'm not going to call you a Karen or a woke or a snowflake either.
I'm going to respect your.
It's your decision. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what they want. Like those calling those names, so want people to respect their own life. So why aren't you respecting their decisions? It goes both ways. If you want to be respected for not wanting to get the vaccine, well, respect those who do.
Of course.
So, do you want them to start calling you names too? I mean, it has to grow up.
It's a lot of give and take. You
want respect, give respect. Kind of thing.
I know respect. I know with myself, there's a twofold reason for why I want to get the vaccine. One.
You have an immune system not great.
My immune system is not great. I work in the public school system with a lot of them are under 12 years old, which cannot get vaccinated. And because of that, I could run a risk to bring back home,
which is why I got it.
And so to protect myself and for her to protect herself, that's why we chose.
And plus, our parents also have pretty serious health issues. So if we don't necessarily want to pass it on to them, and so they got it for that reason too, because some of them need a little bit of care kind of thing. So if we have to see them to help out, you don't necessarily want to pass it on to them.
No.
And if I can prevent that, or they passing it to me, or vice versa, that's why we got it. So, you don't want it. Well, it's a risk. We think you may not think it's a risk. That's whatever. That's both our choices.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say, well, you're being an idiot by not getting it.
Well,
you want to call me a sheep or us a sheep, well, that's being immature by doing so. It's a choice. You want us to respect your choice, respect our choice.
Yeah.
That's what comes down to respect of either way.
And,
and stop peeing on people's property.
Exactly, you animal.
Garbage around, throw it out. It's not that difficult. Take garbage home.
Exactly.
Stop acting like you're two.
It's even in our job in the school system, the amount of garbage we find left on our school properties.
Oh, it's gotten worse.
It's ridiculous.
It's not even exaggeration. That we even go to the coffee shop next to Tim Hortons, near us, and of course can't sit inside yet. They have no patios. We sit outside and we'll watch film. It's even their parking lots full of junk.
Exactly.
You can't take it home, bring it inside, or find a garbage can. You just toss it everywhere. Someone else's problem.
And and that's the mindset that we need to correct.
Yeah,
it's someone else's problem. No, it's you're making it someone else's problem.
You're making it someone else's problem. Yeah.
And that by making it someone else's problem, it's making it a communal problem.
Right, and it makes the community dirty.
Exactly.
And then guess what? Now you get rats, and you get mice, and you get vermin, and they can bring the plague, and they can bring other things. So that's it's not necessarily exaggeration. That's how the plague started.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you clean up an area to prevent vermin from getting in, who can carry other diseases and stuff with them. It's not just because it doesn't look great, but it's also to prevent
infections,
rats and mice, and anything else that can potentially carry other diseases and illness to the area too. And then they contaminate the groundwater and all that kind of stuff. There's reasons it's done. It's not just because it needs to look pretty, which is part of it. Why make it somebody else's issue? Is it that difficult for your own stuff?
Well, that's it. That's it. That's the thing. Our generation was taught as a kid. If you went to McDonald's, you had a Happy Meal or whatever.
Our parents made us roast.
That was part of the deal. You have it. you get rid of it.
You throw it out.
You throw it out.
Not anymore.
No. We've seen when you could eat inside, tables were left dirty.
A long time. I mean, because they think, it's their job.
Yeah.
We used to work. I mean, maybe you have to when you're younger, work fasting, and they think, it's your job. You're being paid to clean the tables. Well, when it gets really busy, you don't actually have a lot of time to go out and clean tables, because this is how it was in McDonald's and stuff or whatever. You have to stay there.
Yep.
They only had maybe one person designated to use the drive-thru, designated to go clean up the tables.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got tons of cars going by, they don't have time to go out and clean the tables and then also take cars. So there's nobody cleaning the tables. So now you got a big mess, and then you got customers complaining to the staff to clean it up and yelling at them. Well, it's not their fault. They're told to stay there. It's not like they're not going because they don't want to half the time. They're told to stay there.
Yeah.
And we know this because we used to work there. Like, a long time ago. But I can't see it changing that much. But, I mean, and plus they can get busy.
Of course.
So, I mean, who's cleaning it up?
Yeah.
Because they don't have time. I mean, when it gets quiet, then you can clean it up when there's no customers. But when there's customers in the store, you have to stay behind the counter.
Yep.
Except for the designated one who cleans.
Yeah.
And it's usually the drive-thru who does it, because they can come out of the drive-thru and walk around. But if they've got tons of cars, they can't do it either.
No.
So now you've got tables that are not getting cleaned. So it's not like a regular restaurant where they have bus people designated to do that. There isn't that in fast food. So if people be taught this, that, throw your own stuff out.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Respect the space that you're in.
It's not a sit-down restaurant.
Where
it's designated people
clean. And
some do. Some have.
Yeah, like a lobby person.
Not that many.
And I think a lot of, my father always taught me that respect the space you're in.
Yeah. It's generations taught us that.
But I think we need to bring that back and say, okay, you need to respect the space you're in, because someone coming behind you may want to use that same space.
Respect it. Yeah.
Respect it.
Leave it how you found it.
Yeah. And
I mean, kids aren't born this way. I mean, they're not born throwing crap and leaving crap and being disrespectful. They're taught this, or they're not taught this. Like they're taught they're entitled. Basically, you learn entitlement.
Yep.
If everything's pretty much handed to you easily. And again, like I said, not everybody, but a good portion of them are taught. Okay, you're not very good at math, but you go to the next grade, or whatever, or you moved off half the year, but you go to the next grade, or whatever, or well, now you're learning your type, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it.
We never heard
what you're seeing now.
And that's the thing, we never heard, come here, please.
No, come here.
Come here.
Yeah, and won't ask you
once.
I'm not talking abusive. I mean, that's a whole other story. Sorry, kids for being.
Yes.
But it's authoritative.
Yeah.
It's come here. It's to learn to respect that.
Yeah.
That you're not in control. The adult is in control. Or that, and to respect from your stuff, or go to school and listen to it. That kind of thing. And that it's okay to fail. Like you said, you're not teaching them anything by not allowing them to fail.
No.
Because then they can learn how to adapt to do things differently. But if you're learning, it's okay to fail, you can move on.
Well, because
someone else will do it for you.
Well,
what if, when they become the only generation around, what will the world be like then? That's where you wonder.
That's a frightening prospect if you think about it.
A lot of them are this way, yeah. But what will the world be like if they're just throwing their stuff over? There'll be nobody to clean it up because nobody's taught to.
I think we need to really prepare kids to show that a lot of the world will not care about your feelings.
No, they don't. Most of the world does not care about you or how you feel. No, they don't.
You were a superstar in your school. Well,
Now you're on the big ocean now.
who cares?
Yeah,
You
they
know?
don't care.
No.
People don't care.
It's like,
They don't care if mommy and daddy said you're wonderful, special. You're not special to
No.
everybody. You know, that's the thing, and that's the harsh reality of it.
and I think we need to prepare them to deal with the harshness of things that
Yeah, 'cause the world actually can be pretty cruel,
that you can fail, and you
Yeah.
will fail.
and you won't fall apart and fail.
No, and that's a testament to you. If you can fail, pick yourself up from it and learn.
That's
And
how you become successful.
exactly.
Nobody who's really successful made it the first time out.
No.
They tried again, they failed. They tried again, they failed until they succeeded at it. And I mean, if you keep pushing kids through
Mhm.
without failing them and letting them learn how they can learn what works for them
Mhm.
and stuff, they're never going to get that. They're never going to learn that. And they're always going to feel somebody could do passive for them, or it's somebody else's problem, or whatever. Well, what if eventually they are going to be the only generation, the only kids around? The rest of the older generation is gone. Well, then what? Everybody's going to have dirt in the streets and what? I mean, granted, again, there are ones who are very good at cleaning
Yes.
up, but it's what going to just fall on them, and everybody else is going to do whatever they want.
That.
How's the world going to run then? I mean, that's the problem.
Mhm.
This,
and that's where we find ourselves.
We're starting to, yeah, because these are not kids anymore.
No.
They're in their 20s now, or late teens now.
We're like,
they're not kids anymore.
We're on that precipice.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
we can still affect the change to maybe turn this.
Maybe the youngest ones, yeah.
Yeah, to turn this around. Change the tide, so to speak.
Yeah.
But if we allow things to run the course the way they are,
yeah, we might be in trouble if that attitude prevails.
Exactly.
Going on, that they don't care about what other people think. They can say whatever you want to anybody, and you've probably seen it. You've seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
That somebody just expresses any kind of a differing opinion than anyone else in the group.
Mhm.
Tons of them just attack them.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're not being disrespectful or saying anything that controversial, it's just something that they just feel like
they wanted to share
they
their
want to share.
POV.
Even.
Yeah.
I've seen it like groups that just want to share something.
Mhm.
Man, about 20 people attack them because it differs from what they think or what they believe. Well, I thought it's okay to have a different opinion than everybody. You have to jump on the bandwagon, but suddenly you're an outcast and that you don't care about this, you don't care about social issues, you don't care about this. I mean, no, that's not the case. It's just because somebody thinks a little differently than you do doesn't mean they should be attacked like a band of hyenas on a prey. I mean,
exactly.
You really? And I'm sure it used to exist before, but it's just worse now because it's social media.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier. You're behind a keyboard, not saying it to their face, or not right in front of you. Although some people say it to their face too nowadays.
No.
And that's kind of like that part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Things have gotten much worse.
Of course.
In the last year or so. I don't know.
So I'd like to put it out to the folks in the cyber world, in the universe, on YouTube, and tell us what you think. Have you experienced any of this?
Are you seeing that in town, in parks, beaches, being disrespectful to it, just leaving it a mess?
And what do you feel about that?
3-hour long line waits at winners,
because
but
I'm sure.
I guess I don't just shop that way.
It's like, we're not gonna lie. There was a few things we needed.
But we didn't. I want to wait 3 hours in line.
Oh hell no!
I mean, we were like we didn't have to wait that line to get into the store. We needed it, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have waited 3 hours for it. I would
No.
have waited till the lines calmed down to get it.
And I will say I'm a patient person, but I'm not that patient to sit in a line that long.
It's looks ridiculous. I mean, I get you want something to do. We're all bored. We want something to do, but I'm not gonna wait 3 hours to go to the store.
Hell
not
no.
gonna do it. I know there are people who'll do it. That's your choice, but I don't know. I just find it not for me.
No, it's not for me either.
No.
But what I guess my wish is that we bring respect back into that way we live.
Yeah, I think it's been lost a lot of ways.
We've lost it somehow, and I think it needs to come back. We need to do things differently. We need to get people to understand accountability.
Yeah, but accountability is taught.
And
like we were. I mean,
yeah,
like how you did chores kind of thing.
That's it.
I mean, I never got an allowance, but I got paid maybe sometimes if I did something extra, and then I could go buy like a chocolate bar or something when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it was to teach you that if you worked for something, you can earn it, kind of thing. I mean, that was. I mean, I know there are parents today still doing that, which is good, because then the kid is going to be better off as they get older, because they learn that life's not going to hand you anything.
Yeah.
You really have to earn it. If you want to be any kind of success.
Exactly.
I mean, that's, it's hard kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, so respect and stuff, I don't know where it's gone lost, but it has.
And it's gotten lost especially over this past year and a half. And it's sad that we let go of that basic fundamental. And it's makes me worry about the new kids and the younger kids coming in.
Well, even the ones we're just talking about, if you think of it, they're not going to stay in their early 20s forever. They're going to get older. And if they haven't learned that the world's not going to hand them stuff, and they just do whatever they want, and then, when they inherit the world, now it's in their hands.
Yes.
What's the world going to be like then?
Exactly.
Because what are they going to expect? Okay, where's the electricity coming from, or where's whatever coming from, kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like,
they're going to expect, harsh realities are going to set in. And I think I'm going to say I'm blessed that I was taught that you respect.
Right.
You acknowledge and accept accountability for your actions.
Right.
And understand the accountability of others.
Yeah.
Well,
like, I know a lot of people said, like, even with the lockdowns and stuff like that, they're saying just let's live our lives. But we've heard that quite a bit.
Too much.
Open things up, all that kind of stuff. Just let it be free or whatever. Well, I mean, I guess maybe they need to think that some rules and restrictions are in place, not even just for COVID, but for everything. Laws are in place to protect, so people don't just do whatever that comes to mind in that moment, kind of thing. I mean, because you could say, I mean, it's a bit extreme, but I've used this example before. People say, well, just let's live our lives. Let's feel partied up. And if we get COVID, we get COVID. We can spread it, we spread it. That kind of stuff. We have that. But
more often than not,
let's say I'm having a bad day. One same token, I'm having a bad day. I go to a store, say, and someone cuts me off or whatever, and they make me angry.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I feel like beating them on the head, or if I want to shoot them or whatever, because that's what I feel like doing in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing, because I'm angry. Well, don't even, should I have that right to do that kind of thing? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with something like this, it can actually literally kill you. No, I mean now you really don't have that right. So it doesn't just affects thousands or
Oh,
millions of other
of
people too.
course.
So that's why these laws are in place, whether you agree with them or not. I mean, there's some things you don't like, of course. There's a lot of things we don't like. We like to
Oh,
be able to go and do stuff too. But you understand why it's in place.
oh,
So,
of
but
course.
going nuts in a park's not going to actually change
No.
that. You know, I guess that's kind of what was saying. It's
Yeah.
gone out of control,
And it's up.
and now they're making other people have to be accountable because they're leaving it for them to clean
Yeah.
up because oh gee they want to party.
And
Well, good for you. Now you get a mess.
exactly.
You know, next time we're gonna party in your backyard, pee in your backyard or whatever, and leave garbage all over your lawn. You know, how'd you like it? I don't think you would.
And it's not right that the burden of accountability to correct this now falls on
People had nothing to do with it,
nothing to do with that, and
or the neighbors of these parks, or the beaches,
that's
wherever else.
that's not right.
It's not their. It shouldn't be responsible.
No, it should not exactly.
Because they can't take responsibility for their own actions. Suddenly it's fun and to be destructive.
And
that's the end thing to do, to be destructive.
And that just boggles my mind. Let's destroy shit.
Well, it's even these car shows now that you're seeing too.
Yeah.
It's also been on news sometimes, where thousands show up and they're taking over whole intersections or towns.
Of course.
That happened to
a couple of times.
But they just take over the town and they're actually run rampant.
Mm-hmm.
And that they leave a vacant structure in their path. I mean, that's not a car show. It's just being irresponsible and destructive.
Well, there's no...
Yeah. Fun.
Let's flout the rules. Let's pour gasoline on the road. Let's light it on fire.
Let's leave damage in our way. Someone else has to clean it up. Maybe mommy, daddy will pay for it.
I think the older generation needs to say to these younger ones, guess what? You're now accountable for it.
They need to be held accountable for it. The police just stand by and do nothing half the time. I mean, granted, they're outnumbered half the time. Well, then bring in SWAT or bring in somebody because this stuff needs stopped.
Well, that's it. That's it. And I think
someone's gonna end dead if one of these car ships is that dangerous.
I hate to say it. We need to there needs to be a strong position taken now, with an affirmative, act of authority to say, okay, you do this. This is what happens,
right?
And here it is.
Right.
You bring in every division you have. You cuff them and stuff them. Put them in the cars. Right. Put them in the vans. Hold them accountable.
And that's the problem with a lot of not being held accountable.
No, exactly.
And one of the times they're going to do it to the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to get killed because they're driving like maniacs, or somebody will catch fire because they're lighting the road on fire, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I mean, it's going to go wrong one of these days.
I want to know what's going on in the world, and I want to know
of course,
going on in my neighborhood, my city.
Well, this is the one thing you bring it up. We want to know what's going on wrong, but I'm kind of also sick of hearing about blaming the media for everything. Oh, it's the media's fault. The media's fear mongering. The media's the enemy. The media. No, okay, sorry. I'm not with you on that. I mean,
yeah.
The media's going to tell you. If they're going to tell you everything, no, they're going to tell you the most important parts.
Yeah.
And if you want the whole story, watch or read multiple media
of
outlets,
course,
kind of thing. Not necessarily left or right, any but all of them if you have to, kind of thing. The whole fear mongering about COVID or whatever, that's on you. If you're afraid of what they're telling you, they're not actually fear mongering, because then people would say, "You didn't tell us. You didn't tell us this." They can't win because they don't tell you something if you didn't give us any information. They do tell you it's fear mongering.
Well,
the media is bad. I mean, no, it's not. Are they all wonderful? No. I mean, I don't watch Fox News too much because I think it's too far right leaning.
Yeah.
And it's really more about opinion. This is rather than current news, not necessarily opinion. Yeah. I mean, I'll watch some opinions, but I take it for opinion.
Yeah, take for what it is.
But if they're too far, too right leaning, then I'm not that interested. I'd rather have it somewhere in the middle because then you tend to get a little bit more accurate news. But I mean, you take it for what it is. Like, it's not fear mongering; it's information. It makes you afraid. Well, that's more on you than it is on them. So, I mean, it's time to stop blaming the media for everything. I mean, if they didn't give you the information, people complain they're not giving. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? I've heard that too. What are they hiding? How come they haven't said this? What are they hiding? But if they do give you the information, now it's fear mongering. You can't have it both ways.
No, so, that's true.
But I'm kind of sick of hearing about blaming the media for everything.
Well, it's
like, come on.
It's. And I want to know. I want the information. I want to know what's going on.
I've heard happening.
But then, when you see this irresponsible behavior splashed all over your news, it's kind of like you don't want to watch that all the time because it
happens too much.
It's happening too much. You're getting inundated with,
and nothing changes.
So it's like.
You're sick of watching kids running around.
Exactly.
And having tantrums is really what it
is.
And
that's what it is.
It's what it looks like.
It's grown ass people
acting like toddlers.
Because they can't have their own way.
Right.
The government's put them in their room for a year and a half.
Right. Well, now they've allowed them to go to like parks and stuff. Now they act like they've been sprung from prison or something.
And they lose their damn minds, and just
I mean, really.
Yeah.
You've always been able to go to a park that's not been restricted. I know some places has, not even. So why all of a sudden you acting like so running around? Like, I don't know.
I don't get it.
I mean, yeah, if you want to have fun, but you don't need to destroy the area to do it either. Because eventually they can block it back off again. You won't have any access to it, kind of thing. And then nobody can. And your action can also affect others, and that's not fair. And that would telling them please stop, because that's not working. Saying stop.
Stop it.
Stop. Or we arrest. There you go.
It's
and do. I mean, I get so sick of here. Please do this. Please do that. Please. I mean, please works for a while. They continue the behavior. Stop. Please.
Well,
be more forceful.
Like when the pandemic first started, and Justin, it wasn't please. Justin was like, stay home.
He got frustrated because nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying, and then Doug Ford was saying.
Yeah.
They got to tell they were frustrated.
And people need to understand, get it through their thick cranial plate, that you keep carrying on and doing the stupid crap that you're doing, being destructive,
that's the problem, is destruction and disrespect problems.
All it will take is enough pissed off people to make it kick up a stink at Ottawa.
Right. Oh yeah, and they can. I mean, you see the force of the people. I mean, like you've seen it with BLM, change names and things like that. People are protesting. People are talking about it now. Well, people can protest the damage that's being done to the developers, but the neighbors can. the taxpayers or Wasaga, they can actually petition the government. I mean, yes, I know it's a provincial park, but they could restrict access to
Of
it
course.
because people are acting like little children and not respecting it, being damaging. And they could, because city also owns it, so they could restrict it heavily to
Mhm.
outsiders if they really want to do that. I mean, people think they have maybe more rights than they think they actually
Yes.
do. I mean, yes, you have rights to do things, but you don't have the right to destroy
No.
the area.
No.
It doesn't
No,
give
you
you
do
that
not.
right to do that because they definitely can close that off and heavily strict.
Yes.
How many people can even get in there?
Mhm.
You know, Wasaka could actually say, nope,
Nope.
nobody from out of town come in for now. I mean, they can do that. That
Yeah.
is their town. They have the right. Other towns have done it. So,
Yep.
and they put up roadblocks. So, I mean, that's the thing. You don't have the right to be destructive.
No.
No, it does
No.
not give you that right.
No. No. And you know, and I don't.
It's frustrating. Actually.
It's-
We don't even live near too many Bellwood, but you see it all the time. We see it here. I mean, we have a fairly heavily tourist populated area
Yeah.
we're into. We see it here as well. So
And you.
it gets frustrating when you see all these people from either out of town coming in your area and then not respecting it. You know.
Exactly. It's
And
like,
then it's up to the locals to pick it up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not our
No.
responsibility to clean up after you.
exactly.
You
And
decide to come here. You want to be damaging, stay in your own town.
well,
you
that's
know?
it. And
Destroy your own city. You know,
uh,
that's what's frustrating. It's not the going to the park. It's not the having fun. It's not that. It's don't need to be banging on seniors' windows at 1 a.m. or
No.
shooting fireworks at them and then peeing against their buildings or leaving garbage everywhere. I mean, that's not necessary.
no, it's
to
not.
do.
No.
You know,
And
so like blow up those were doing.
I'm just
You
at a
know,
loss now.
before the residents do get together because they have rights,
Yeah.
maybe more than they think they do. They can also, just like all these other groups have been protesting, rallying, they can do the
Yes.
same
Yes.
and maybe have a heavier presence in these areas.
Of course.
And and clear it out or whatever. I mean, there's things they can do
Mhm.
and things can get changed.
In
So,
a big way.
so I mean, like, come on,
I guess, I'm just at a loss for words about it now. And it's like, it's not changing. And
no, it'll change if they actually, like, especially the ones who near those areas,
Yeah.
want to change.
Yeah.
And they really should. I mean, that's so down, so
Yeah.
home where they live. I mean, it's like, yes, you want the tourist dollars or whatever. That's not even the issue. Not all tourists are like that.
No.
You're welcome to tourists who are respectful
Of
and
course.
will clean up after themselves and enjoy where they go. But it's the ones that are destructive that you don't really want there. Because why should the locals have to clean it up? And some of them actually are locals. So
That's it.
I mean, come on.
I'm just
enough's enough.
Like I said, I'm just at a loss for words about the behaviors, and it makes me sad, really. It really makes me sad, and honestly, I don't know in my own way how to bring about a change that's
one thing people watch, maybe see, might agree.
And
but, that's really what you can do. I mean, you can clean up so much, and it keeps happening, kind of thing. But I mean, like, you can only use a platform like this to say, really, would you want that in your own backyard?
Well,
why are you doing it in theirs, kind of thing. And enough of the begging them to stop. Just tell them stop.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, make it. This is how it's going to be. Yes, you can enjoy the park, whatever.
But no,
the minute you become a this way, you're gone.
Yep.
You're not welcome back.
Yep.
I mean, like, ban them if you have to. I don't know how you could do it, but I mean, like, no, I mean, it doesn't give you a right to do this. It's ridiculous. You know, like, grow up already.
And I think this is really what we're trying to say to this generation. Grow up.
Right.
Grow up.
Those that need to.
Those that need to. And
you know.
But
we know actually quite a few millennials and Gen Z who are actually very good, but I'm sure there's a lot of them would not do that.
No.
You know, so I just want to say it's not all of them.
No.
You know, but it's just the ones that are like that.
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies.
Exactly.
It's the ones who are like that.
Like
I mean, it's not even just that generation. There are older generations that can be messy too. But it's just primarily the ones you see at these areas tend to be younger. So.
And like you said, we're not painting everyone in broad strokes.
No, just the ones that are.
It's exactly, and they need to listen, and it's up to us to make them listen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or police, politicians need to make them listen. Stop telling them please. Tell them stop, or you're gonna be hauled away.
Exactly.
Show them that there's consequences. Don't just let them go with a warning a million times.
No.
That's not working. Obviously.
No,
Happens
it's not.
I bet you tomorrow we'll hear about it again on the news. I'm sure you will.
And because now we're getting into the warmer weather. Right. School is almost done.
Fairly in schools it is here.
You know, like, well, officially, the school year will almost be done. And, you know, once that happens, you know, I'm sure we're going to hear more and more news reports about stuff going on, like you said. Oh, yeah. But I want to say thank you again for sitting here with me and having this conversation about
it. I mean, I think it's an important conversation to have. I mean, we know something's happening here. We know it's probably happening in a lot of these cities and towns that are primarily tourist areas. So, you know.
And I think with this platform, it's important for us to all have that big conversations and be able to articulate and say, hey, this is going on here. This is going on in my town. Yeah. You know, I'm frustrated. And what can we do to change this? What can we do to change this? Going on. You know. And I'd like to welcome you guys into the conversation. We both would. So if you do have anything you'd like to add, please put it in the comment section down below and tell us what, give us your 2 cents, you know? Right. But let's be respectful, too. But, I mean, like, if you have a comment disagreeing, that's fine. Yeah. But, you know, none of the whole Karen snowflake kind of crap is not that. No. This is... You know, you end up kind of negating your argument by doing that. So, and this is what we've said from day one when we started this platform. It's that kind of stuff's not going to be tolerated. It's a safe platform for everybody. Yeah. For everybody, no matter what the difference of opinion is, we want the communication to back and forth. Look, you may not agree with us, we may not agree with you, or even other commenters may not agree with each other, but we're not going to let people because, you know, you should be an adult, and, you know, whether you agree with people or not, everybody is allowed to have their own opinion, you know, and we're not going to let others bully people. No. And that's really what it is, bullying and that's name-calling. It's childish. And that won't happen here. No, because whatever, zero tolerance for that here. If myself does not catch it, oh, I will. She will, and know and that. Will get erased. So and without warning. You know that this is a safe platform for everyone to have the conversations that want to have those conversations. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you want to have good conversations. Yeah. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for coming in and having this conversation. If you liked our live show, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And like you said, it's down here somewhere. If you're on your phone, and make sure you hit that bell because it will tell you every time me and my lovely co-host Four Towers go live every Sunday. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining in the conversation, and we will see you next time. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.